looks and he looks and he pulls the trigger. Touchdown. Right over the middle for Troy Brown.
Hard-working guy, committed, just a pro's pro.
And he's a big clutch player. I mean, he's played in a lot of big games for us. So.
At the end of the day, I know that I played this game the way it's supposed to be played.
Joining us now is a three-time Super Bowl champion. He spent his entire 15-year career with the New England Patriots, set all kind of records with the team for punt returns and receptions and yards. We welcome to the desk Patriots great Troy Brown.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being
enjoy
with
your
us.
show.
Thank you, man. Good to see you.
Yep.
Of course, you played with Tom Brady. You've defended him on record during this Deflategate situation. How will this affect his legacy, if it affects him at all?
I don't think it would have any kind of effect on his legacy, especially here in New England where it matters the most. I mean, the people here love him. They love their team. They love their pro sports. And,
But what about outside of New England?
Outside of New England, we have no control over that. You know, and that's the great thing about playing here in New England is that we learn to block a lot of that stuff out, you know, and it's about the guys here. And, you know, and it really what it comes down to is that I have the respect of Tom Brady, that Tom Brady has the respect of me, Willie McGinnis, so many other great players that have come through here. And that's where we leave it at, man. You know, we can't really control what goes on outside of here.
You know what my issue is with y'all, man?
You win.
I'm gonna say it. No, actually, no. Because even though I'm a New Yorker, I've been on the record. Patriots, as far as I'm concerned, is America's team, not the Dallas Cowboys. And I love Mr. Kraft. And I got nothing but props, major props for you and the career you had. And I know Willie personally as well, Willie McGinnis. My issue with y'all is that it's like y'all never do anything wrong. Like, I'm sitting there like, I'm looking at Tom Brady. Do I believe he deflated footballs? No. Do I believe that, you know, it has something to do with him winning? Of course not. This brother's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But couldn't he have handled things just a little bit differently? He did nothing wrong. He's completely innocent in all of this, Troy.
I think when you know you're innocent, I think you defended the way he did. And you adamantly defended the way he did. Did he make some mistakes in there? Whatever. There was a couple of mistakes in there that he may have made. But when you know you've done nothing wrong, then you defended the way he did. And he's going all out. He's all in on this thing. Yeah. And now I think a lot of things are starting to come to light, and you start to see the whole picture of what was really being done to him.
Quick question. When you say you know you're innocent, you conduct yourself the way that he did, are you talking about the appeals process or the week leading up to Super Bowl week when he had that bogus press conference?
When you talk about him stepping up there, because in that situation, you step up there and somebody's bringing up an issue about a football being inflated, of course. I mean, you might laugh it off or giggle it off because it wasn't anything I don't think he took that really serious at that particular time.
You said
it's like when you're in New England, there's always something. The brother just went through that a few weeks ago when they ran the unbalanced line or whatever, the ineligible, eligible, and all that stuff. Right. It wasn't even his play. You know, they got it from another team. It never came up when Detroit ran it. You know, why does it come up now that New England's doing stuff illegally and all this stuff? And he had a snicker about it and took a jab at the Baltimore Ravens about reading the rule books and all those things. So, and they get blasted for that. It's like every little thing they do that may not be, you know, that people may not know about, the rules about whatever that they do. It comes up as, you know, we're cheaters or they're cheaters or whatever it may be. And you know, that's kind of unfair. But that comes with the territory when you're good and when you win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allow me to follow up on Molly's opening question, which was a good and deep question about how much has Tom's legacy been stained outside New England? Because we both, let me finish, because we both agreed early on, it seemed pretty indelibly stained outside of New England, yes, because most people had leaped to the conclusion that he cheated and lied about it. But I will say this, over this last week, this is just my gut feeling, that once the documents from the appeals process were unsealed and we got a deeper look inside of what really went on in the appeals process, I'm starting to sense a little swing back toward, wait a minute, maybe he didn't do this. Or am I onto something?
I'm feeling you on that, because you look at what they helped to create that stain that's on Tom Brady now. The way they put those stories out there, the way they timed them to be put out there, and the way they, saying things like destroyed his cell phone and those types of things. Those things help to stain his legacy outside of New England. But I'm with you, the way these documents that come out now, I think the tide is turning, and it says a lot about the commissioner. And now he may need to go on the defensive here and defend himself and what kind of guy he is and what he really means to the NFL when you're trying to bring down one of the greatest guys to ever play this game.
I totally feel you on that. So. I totally feel you on that about Goodell. But let me ask you this question, because I need your help here. Is the issue, is deflated footballs an issue to you?
Stephen A., I've sat here and I watched, even on ESPN, I watch guys get up there and they talk about, I can tell the difference in these footballs. Yeah, because you're looking for them now. You know, I played football all my life since I've been 4, 5, 6 years old. And talking about the PSI and the football and knowing the difference in them, never could tell the difference.
The reason I'm asking,
Anderson couldn't tell the difference.
The reason I'm asking that question, if the issue of deflated footballs is really an issue, I never played in the NFL. I don't know. But I know that I've spoken to numerous players, present and former, who literally sit back and they're like, this is a serious issue. That's what they're saying. I'm just saying, they say the issue of, I'm not talking about forget Tom Brady for a second. Exactly. I'm saying they're saying deflated footballs itself. The running back holds onto the ball easier. The receiver catches it easier. It's easier for the quarterback to throw. This is what they're saying, and I'm asking you as a football player, are deflated footballs a pertinent enough issue for any of this to happen?
No, I mean, I think if the footballs were deflated, you know, under 10 or whatever, I mean, where you can really tell a difference in the PSI and the football, then you may have some issues like that, and especially with the kicking ball. That's the reason why they made the kicking balls the way they did. Yeah. You know, because they become soft and then kickers can kick them farther and control them better, those types of things. But what I mean, you're talking about a few, not even fractions of PSIs in the football, which we have to remind everybody too, it wasn't 11 out of 12 footballs. You have to keep reminding them that it wasn't that. So it was the 2 footballs, which, mind you, they found a couple of the Colts footballs underinflated as well. You know, and you chose to ignore that.
Nobody's asked the Colts about that.
Nobody's asked the Colts. Nobody's been on Andrew Luck about did he have his ball boys let the air out of the football. So I mean, so it's an unfair assumption that these guys cheated when all they did was go out there and work their butts off to get to the point they were last year.
You still follow this team closely, cover it. Your gut feeling right now on how far this defense will fall without Revis and Browner?
This defense, I think, will be – Belichick always seems to find a way to make them competitive. It may not be right away. You may not see the results right away in the first 4 weeks, just like this past season. You know, they struggled the first 4 weeks of the season. They got it together. You know, and they got some issues in the back half of that defense to fix and to plug in some guys, because it's kind of hard to replace the guy that had the talent of Revis or the guy that had the kind of range of a Brandon Browner back there. So you got some issues back there to kind of fix up. But what they went out and done, they've got some guys that are hungry, that want to play. May not have the size of a Brandon Browner back there, but you got McCourty, who's now a seasoned veteran back there. You know, he can make some plays. Patrick Chung came in last year and played much better than he did in his first stint here in New England.
Looked better than he ever looked with the Eagles before.
So you got some leadership back there that can kind of bring these guys along, and hopefully Malcolm Butler can build off of the plays that he made in that Seattle game, especially that last play he made in the Seattle game, and keep that confidence going into this season.
I respect the greatness of Tom Brady. It's undeniable. But I'm not in love with him like some people I know. So I have to ask you this question. What should we, if you can let out some objectivity, Troy, what should we expect from Tom Brady whenever he plays this season?
Oh, but what he been through this year?
Yes.
Oh, expect the greatness to be even greater than it has been before.
Why did I know you were going to say that?
No, I'm being objective. I know Tom Brady personally, and right now he is.
Well, he is what?
He's hot.
He's
pissed.
Yeah.
I like it.
So,
okay, last quick reflection. You were here back in 2001, obviously, on that fateful day that Drew Bledsoe got hurt against the Jets. What did you expect from that moment to now? How shocking is it what's happened with that kid who stepped in, that 6th-round draft pick?
Oh, and I tell you, I was probably 5 yards away from that hit when it happened, and I tell you, it sounded like
Mo Lewis.
It sounded like fireworks going off, man. I mean, the big ones, not the little firecrackers, but the big old cherry bombs. And it was ridiculous. And I looked in his face, and I just saw his face mask twisted up, and his eyes rolling back in his head, and I'm like, this is not good. But then, you know, we had our number 12 step on the field, and we knew he was ready. It was never any doubt in our minds that he could come in and lead this team, because when he came in here in 2000, right on this field out here, I mean, and he owned it, man. He owned everything. He was meeting receivers, veteran receivers down the field. I expected you to do this. I wanted you to break in at this particular point. As a rookie, he was 3rd, 4th team. Maybe I think we had Freeze and some other guys. Damien Hewitt was here at the particular time. And he owned it, man, we had a lot of respect for that, because at first you're like, man, what's up with this rookie, man? Why are you talking to Mr. Brisbane? You know, but then you realize that this is what you need in a quarterback, and he had that leadership quality right from the beginning.
I was wondering, how soon do you realize that you need whatever it was that he was giving?
How soon do you?
How soon? Like, you know, did it take a few games? Was it like immediately because you saw something in
Oh, well, it didn't really. I mean, when he stepped in, we were good. I mean, there was no sense of panic on anybody's face, you know, besides being worried about the health of Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
But when he stepped in there, we knew just from being in practice with him, being in the weight room with him, being in the meeting rooms with him, watching tape. I mean, he poured over tapes. I mean, like he had been there 10, 15 years.
Troy,
and that's where the greatness comes from in Tom Brady.
Real quick, is Jimmy Garoppolo ready to go if he needs to step in for these first 4 games?
I tell you what, we don't have the answer to that question just yet.
Okay.
But he's got a great guy in there that's probably getting him ready to go in case he's not ready to go week 1.
Okay.
So he's in good hands. And I remind everybody about, you know, Matt Castle, who hadn't played since high school, basically.
Went 11-5. They
They didn't make the playoffs, but they won 11 games with Matt Castle at the helm. And you know, this guy's probably more polished than Matt Castle at this
You haven't
point.
seen Matt Castle have a good, decent sense.
Troy, thank you so much. And we talked about all your accolades at your Patriots Hall of Fame speech. Belichick described you as one of the most competitive guys he had the privilege of coaching, and just your passion to win and building that culture here. It's truly, truly special. You mentioned Willie McGinnis. He was inducted on Wednesday. Want to congratulate him as well. Someone who needs maybe a fire lit under him, that would be Jay Cutler. He might need some help with that passion there. Brandon Marshall joined us on the show yesterday, discussed his quarterback. We need to digest and react to what we heard yesterday from Jets camp. Thank you again. This is First Take from Patriots camp here in Foxborough, New England.